All right, welcome back to Be Great With Us, episode 2. How are you?
What's up?
How you feeling today?
I feel good. I'm excited to get into this one because I just remembered about a story.
Another story?
Well, because we're going to talk about how we met our parents. And like
Mhm.
when you met my parents, it was completely different.
Yeah, we started off broke. So in episode 1, we went through on how we first met and then how we kind of knew we were going to be in a long distance relationship. And then we had to end it because we didn't want to go in too long. So in today's episode, we want to bring you through episode 2, basically on how we started off super broke. In episode 1, you heard like Haskiri had a job that was paying, what, $7 an hour?
Yeah, like $10 an hour. I worked at Equinox at the front desk. It wasn't a lot of money.
Got you. And then I was a full-time student athlete, and I was 3 hours away, but I was home on winter break. And if you haven't listened to that story, you're going to want to go to episode 1. But basically, we ended it with like saying like, yo, we were broke. Then we end up meeting each other's parents really fast. It happened like really fast. Some people thought we were moving too fast. And then we started our long distance relationship because I had to go back down to Delaware, which is about 3.5 to 4 hours away from New York City. So you want to start it off or you want me to start this one off?
You can start it off.
Okay, so basically we ended episode 1 with Haskiri and I going to our second little date after the first date, right? So the first date, let's just say, was on a Friday. Then the next day on Saturday, Haskiri invited me to go train at her gym in Equinox in New York City. And then from there, I wanted to take her to dinner, but I had to go get some money first. So I went to the hood, pulled up on my uncle. He gave me some money. And then we went to Chili's, 2 for $20.
2 for $20.
You know what I'm saying? Got that budget going on. And then after that, I looked at her and said, yo, I want you to meet my dad.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to put everything on the table, like I mentioned in episode 1. I didn't want to hide anything. I was like, yo, if I'm gonna make this long distance relationship thing go and happen, I need to make sure like she knows everything up front, so then we're not wasting each other's time. So we ended up going to my dad's house, which basically was my house too, where I stood at when I came home from winter on winter breaks. And I had one more day, about 1 or 2 days left before I had to go back down to Delaware and report for football. So then we pulled up to my dad's house and we go upstairs. I introduce you to my dad. And Brandon wasn't there at the time. My little brother wasn't there because he
wasn't there.
Yeah, he was staying over at someone else's house. So I usually sleep in the same bed as my youngest brother when I come home from college, right? It used to be my bedroom, and then him and I used to stay in the same room. And then now it's his bedroom. So I'm like, okay, we can't stay in there today. So when I called Brandon, I'm like, yo, what time are you going to come home? You know, I have someone I want you to meet. He's like, oh, I'm not coming home tonight. I was like, what? You're not coming home tonight? So I said, yo, look, if it's cool, if I can get this chick to sleep over tonight, is it okay if I, sleep in your room? And he's like, yeah, it's cool. But you think she's going to be cool sleeping on the mattress on the floor?
Yeah. So that's why I was going to chime in because, so I remember he like, my idea of like where he lived, I was like, oh, he lives in a house. He has stairs. Like I was used to apartment living, not New Jersey. So when I went there for the first time, I go up the stairs and immediately as he opens the door, I could already tell. I was like, what is going on? Like, I was like, how in the world did this kid come from this? Like, it was a whole new world to me. Like I knew what the hood was. I grew up on Dykeman. It's, the hood is the hood at the end of the day, but then there's like levels to the hood. There's like, okay, bad, even worse, and like places you don't touch. And when I went in there, I was like, oh, wow. Like you really saw where you come from. And the mattress was on the floor and that was very new to me. Like, I was like, oh, there's no like bed frame, like what is going on, but everyone was super, super sweet and super nice. So I was like kind of confused at the same time, I met Darren, very quiet. To this day, Darren is very quiet.
My youngest brother, yeah.
But you kind of saw, and I have like a little OCD too. So like,
you got OCD?
I have a lot of OCD, fine. I have a lot, let's just be real. And so I come from a household that, my father and my mom also, but most of the time I spent with my dad during this period because I had my own bedroom for the first time. And he was very big on like cleanliness and making sure your space is clean and the bathrooms are clean and, all of these things. And so when I went there and I went to use a bathroom, it's a man's house, right? It's like a bachelor pad. It's like his dad is there. He has 2 brothers. It's Nate comes in and out. He has uncles that come in and out too. And so it was a real bachelor pad and I wasn't used to that. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? But at the same time, even though I had that kind of fear or like that, I was questioning myself, like, what am I doing here? There was still something that was like bringing me to you more. I don't know what it was. Like, the more I knew, the more I wanted to stay. And I felt like it should have been the opposite. Like, the more I found out about his upbringing and his life, I should have not wanted to stay.
Yeah, 100%.
So it was really weird for me.
Yeah, everything that you didn't overreact to or you didn't have a bad reaction to was like a next check mark for me to continue to push and see like, okay, let me show her this now. So after we was chilling in the house for a little bit, I was like, let's go to Walgreens real quick, right? So we pulled up on Walgreens, we went inside, and I was like, yo, let's get like a snack or something. So we got like ice cream, we got some chips. And I was like, yo, you might as well just get a toothbrush too. You might as well just stay over tonight.
Because what happened was we were hanging out for a while there, right? Like I met his dad, I met his little brother, and then your uncle came. Which uncle was that?
It was probably Daryl. It was Daryl.
Uncle Daryl came, and then he starts introducing me to his uncle, and I'm just like, oh my God.
And then so we go inside or whatever, and then I was like, yo, might as well just get your toothbrush. And I was like, you have to ask your dad, like, how does that go, whatever. I don't know how that conversation 100% went.
Yeah.
And I said, don't feel forced though. I'm not going to try anything. It's just for us to chill. And then we wake up and I want to take you to get Wonder Bagel. It used to be like the spot that, Wonder Bagel, if you're in Jersey City, get Wonder Bagel.
It sounds like you're saying Wonder Bagel. Wonder Bagel.
Wonder Bagel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the accent.
My bad.
We say Wonder Bagel too. It's like, because it rolls off the tongue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what she said. So right after that, what we did is we went back to the house or whatever, and then she agreed to stay over. And then we was just watching Kevin Hart. I was showing her all the Kevin Hart. I'm like, you never saw this stand-up? Like,
no, and I would say, I was like, I did see it, but it's not like I really sat there and watched the whole thing. Like, it was like if I caught a glimpse. So then he made me watch like all of Kevin Hart's stand-up that he had at the time. Like, he was like, we're big on Kevin Hart here. Like, was it that?
Stand-up comedian, comedy was just huge on.
Yeah, you guys are huge on. And then, was it? Because during the day, I think I remember if I'm not mistaken, the days, that day, I think Brandon said he wasn't staying, but he was there. I think I met him there because you had somebody else there.
That was the next day.
Oh, that was the next day where everybody's like playing games.
So the next day, Haskiri ends up going to sleep mad early, and I was just watching it by myself. And then I remember you rolled over and you looked, and I was like, yo, look at this joke right here. Look. Yeah. And you stood up a little bit and you went back to sleep. So then I woke up in the morning and I was like, yo, I'll be back. Right? Because I needed money. But there's something in my book that I talk about. It's in chapter 7. It's called On the Run. Basically, I used to make runs for my dad. My dad had pain medication that he wasn't using. He used to flip them so we can make some money so we can be able to pay our rent and stuff. So my dad needed me to make that run. And I was like, yo, I'll be right back. I didn't want to tell you. I'm like, I'm going to go pick something up real quick.
He said he's going to go get Wonder Bagel, breakfast.
Oh, yeah, I did say that.
Yeah.
I said, I'll be right back. I'll come back with breakfast and everything.
Okay.
So I ended up leaving. And then that's when Brandon came in.
Right. So literally he leaves and I fall back to sleep because I'm like, I mean, what else am I going to do? I'm not going to leave this bedroom because his dad is in one room. His little brother's in the other room. And I'm like, I don't really know these people. So I just stood in this room the whole time. But then I hear somebody open the door. So I'm like, oh my God, finally Nate's here. Like, I'm going in and out of sleep. And then I'm like, finally, he's here. First, I'm starving. I need to brush my teeth. I got to pee. So then I look over and all I see is like from the back, this guy comes in. So I'm thinking it's Nate because he has similar build. He's pretty tall. And then I'm like, Nate? And then he turns around and this was not Nate. And I was like, who is this? I was like, he looks just like Nate, but not Nate. And it was his brother, Brandon. And Brandon was like getting some sneakers. And he was like, oh, my bad. I'm his brother, Brandon. I'm like, do you know where Nate is? It's been like a while. And he didn't want to tell me either. He was like, oh, I think he went to get breakfast. And I was like, yeah, he left like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long breakfast run. But at the time, I didn't know. Now I know.
Yeah.
I was like, where is this breakfast? Like, they must be like taking the chickens.
Right. I had to pick the chicken out and everything. I went to the farm and got the chicken and Nah, but what happened was, so when I came home, I was texting you. I was keeping up with you when I was on the road. I was checking in on you. And then Brandon just texted me. He's like, yo, you didn't tell me she was going to be sleeping when I walked in. I feel bad, like, or whatever. I was like, no, she's chill. So when I came back, you and Brandon were making jokes at each other already.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's on. You know what I'm saying? Because I gave her that warning already because she was like, you guys you don't watch nothing but like comedy or this or this. And I was like,
Mhm.
well, we're a funny family. Like we love comedy, but just be ready. Like if someone says
Yeah.
something, don't take it the wrong way. We just have jokes. But
Yeah.
me and Brandon get next to each other. Don't think we're really, really arguing. We just go hard at each other. And then I came in and then you and Brandon were already throwing jokes at each other. And then you saw how me and Brandon were throwing jokes and you was like, yo, you guys are really like...
It was like ruthless jokes. Like jokes where, you know, it's like, all right, you crossed the line. Like, that's it. Like, you will end it there. No, the next person will find a even like ruthlesser joke, if that's even a word, a worse joke to throw at them. And I'm like, I don't want no parts of this because I know I'm gonna get my feelings hurt. But over time, I got used to that. Like over time, I literally was like, it would just come to me. Like
over time, you became the most ruthless. You and Brandon's girlfriend, Brandon's girlfriend Maria, her jokes are like hurtful. You know what I'm saying? Like very hurtful. Like, damn, you didn't have to go that far. Brandon is the most ruthless.
He's good on the fly.
Yeah.
Like me, I'll be like, okay. I'll think of a joke and then hit him like 2 minutes later. He's like, you should have said it right then and there. I'm like, I didn't have it in me.
Yeah. So I come home or whatever and they're making jokes at each other. And then I'm looking at the time and I had to take you back home. It was like 11 o'clock or something. So I'm like, damn, I have to take you back home. So then I didn't want you to go. I'm like, damn, you got to go. So we went in a car, we went back. And then we kind of started breaking it down. I'm like, look, I'm going back to Delaware. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm like, yo, you okay with this? And she's like, yeah, we can set up visits or whatever. And I was like, okay. So then, you know, I had my doubts a little bit because I tried it before, this long distance relationship stuff. And I'm like, there's so much miscommunication that can happen, whatever. But I'm like, yo, this girl, she's showing that. Like, she's like fire. Like,
yeah, I was like, I was wilding. I mean, how the hell did I sleep over in like 48, 72 hours of knowing you, meeting your dad, meeting your uncle? But it's like, when you're listening to this, you might be like, oh yeah, that is crazy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty crazy. But there was like this force. I mean, look, me and Nate are 10 years in. And I feel like, to be honest, God wouldn't put me in a situation where it wouldn't have worked out. Like, I just feel like in that moment in time, so many things could have gone wrong. Like, I barely knew you. I didn't know your dad. I didn't know the people that was coming in and out of that apartment. Like, my dad's probably going to be like, what the? Listening to this.
Right.
Like, you ain't tell me this.
Right.
Sorry, puppy. But honestly, I feel like there was just a bigger force or a bigger plan of some sort this was just meant to happen the way it happened because I knew everything up front. Like, it was like, either you know this now and you decide whether or not you want to stay or not, because there's no point of knowing it later. Like, it's now or never kind of thing. And it just like, I don't know. And I never felt unsafe. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just like,
yeah, I think a lot of it, like you said, the force with that's a fact.
Yeah.
It was just like this. When you know.
Exactly.
When everybody else around you may not know. You know what I'm saying? Or may not understand that feeling, that knowing. So when I was like, yo, we're gonna make this thing pop. Like, this is gonna go down. You know, I had my doubts a lot too, because I'm like, yo, I was so vulnerable. But then I'm like, yo, maybe that I go back down to school. Like, I want to show you my school. I want to show you who I am as an athlete. You didn't get to see none of that.
No.
I was showing you all my flaws first.
Right.
But at the same time, I always kept like, I never tried to do anything with you. I didn't disrespect you. I was trying to make sure you're okay. Just who I am, right?
Yeah.
So when I dropped Haskiri off, I'm like, all right, boom. I should be back in like 2 weeks. I can try to come back. But remember, we're broke.
Right.
So now in my mind, I'm like, all right, when I go back down to school, I got football. I got school. I got my semester that I just had was a good semester with grades.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get my grades up to a certain level so I can make sure I wanted to hit like a certain list with my grades and stuff like that. So I was like, yo, but I'm gonna have to make more time to cut hair. That's one of the things I knew right away. I was like, yo, I'm gonna have to make time to cut hair, because in order for this relationship to really work, I have to put myself in a position financially to make this trip up. Because going from Delaware to New York City was about $50.
Right.
You got to fill up your gas. Getting from Delaware all the way through New Jersey is like $15 at the time. So, you know, if I put 20 in the tank, 15, with the tolls, I'm 35 in, and then the toll is $17. So, you know, I'm about $50 in. And I was like, okay. So when I dropped her off or whatever, I went down to school and I went to see if her communication skills were going to start falling off. Now we're dating long distance, right? Like, we're going through the motion. And then we actually, the first couple of weeks were like real smooth.
Yeah.
Because we were doing FaceTime. And what we'll do is we'll go on FaceTime and we'll watch a movie and start it at the same time.
And start it at the same time. Like I remember like pausing the laptop because at the time I had a laptop, which this laptop plays a huge role in like the rest of our relationship.
Big time.
So I remember like pausing, playing so that we can have the same audio. And I also remember like at the time, like I said, I was working at Equinox and I would try to pick up more shifts. And I knew also like I'm very grateful and thankful for my dad because when I told him like about Nate very early on, he was very supportive as well. And I was like, well, this guy's in college. Like, I feel like he has a good head on his shoulders. Like, he's a Division I football player. Like, he has this and this, but he also comes from this background, like this upbringing. And my dad's Puerto Rican. So he grew up on Dykeman. You know, he is not, he knows what the hood is like. He knows what it is to be a part of like certain things. And
definitely.
I guess, yeah, and I just feel like, I guess he knew like, oh, if he comes from this background and he's able to reach what he's reached so far, then he is a good kid. So like, my dad would like give me $20 in case I wanted to go see Nate or something. Like, he supported that. Like, really quick, not to jump too far in the story, but I remember the first time I went down to see Nate at his school, Nate told me about this bus, right? And the bus was like on 33rd or 34th Street, and it was in one of those cut blocks. And that bus picked me up from there and took me 3 hours onto the campus on Delaware. Mm-hmm. But the first time I ever went to see Nate, the bus that I had to take was like at 6 a.m. And they don't play with time. Like, if you're not there at 6, sayonara, they're out of here. And I told my dad, like, yeah, I'm going to go see him like the night before. I'm going to go to his school. And my dad came with me. He helped me carry my little bag because I had a duffel with clothes and stuff. And that he just supported this relationship. Like, he came with me to 34th Street all the way at like 5 something in the morning just so I could catch this bus. And I was just like, that's like, it was just crazy to me. And I remember freaking out because I was going to miss
purple
it.
Bus.
The big
purple
we call
bus.
it the big purple bus. Even though there was like a white one, but the purple one was like.
I actually put this down in the notes. We'll leave a description down. I told you we documented all this stuff.
Yeah.
So we made a vlog about the big purple bus. We'll leave the link down below.
Yeah.
But before we get into the bus, because we were leading up to the bus.
Yeah.
What started to happen is we'll go on FaceTime. We're like watching, movies and stuff. And then we started planning it out. So it was like, you had work and you had acting you were getting into, and had football, and I had like practice and then study hall, and then of course classes. Yeah. Exactly. You had auditions. So immediately I was like, okay, what we're going to do here is we'll plan out when we're going to see each other. So we planned ahead. And then when we planned ahead, we knew how much money we need. And then we knew how much time we had to make that money. But we had something to look forward to. That was like always the best part about being in a long distance relationship, was knowing that, okay, damn, this sucks, this. But we made time each day. We didn't get mad if like you were busy at like 4 o'clock. We knew like each night at like 8 o'clock we got on FaceTime.
Yeah.
And then we made a plan when we did see each other. And it wasn't, we're talking about like by the time we actually made it to the destination, you'd be lucky if we got like $100.
Right.
Usually it's like less than $100, right?
Yeah.
So what we did from here is I planned to go home first. So I go home for a weekend and we're hanging out or whatever. And then it was my turn to meet your dad.
Yeah.
Right? So in my imagination, I'm thinking this dude is like, to be real with you, I'm thinking that your dad is like some older gentleman that tuck his shirt in with a belt.
Yeah.
With like combs his hair back kind of thing or whatever. So, because I never saw your dad. I never met your dad. So Haskiri's like, oh, I want you to meet my dad. I was mad nervous. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go upstairs.
I was already talking about Nate to my dad. So I was like, this is the perfect time. Like,
I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this, whatever. So I go upstairs and there's this young dude. She told me she had brothers. So I'm like, so this young dude was walking my way with a goatee. And I was like, okay, this is probably, damn, her older brother.
Yeah.
I thought he was only a couple years older. I'm like, okay, I guess he's like 10 years older. And he's like, what's up, playboy? I was like, what's up? He dapped me up. And he was like, and then as soon as I heard Reese say, Papi, this is Nate, I was like, oh my God, this is your father. This dude's mad hood, and like mad like swag, you know?
He had like,
And he goes, yo, welcome. He's like, yo, you hungry? I'm cooking, whatever. I'm like, yeah. So as he's talking to me, he goes behind Haskiri and I. He goes to the door.
Mm-hmm.
They had like 7 locks. Soon as I saw him locking the door like that, I immediately accused him of being a drug dealer.
Yeah. Which is like so funny because like we locked our doors versus Nate's house. They never locked their doors. Bro,
that's true.
That literally baffled me. I'm like, somebody just walked into your house. And he's like, yeah, I know. I'm like,
yeah, my dad had people walking in during the day, but we left the door open for my mom. Just in case she was going through
now
something.
I know, but at the time I was like, why do you leave it open? Like we were strict on locking.
Yeah,
we did.
Strict?
We had 2 locks, okay.
Yeah, strict. So I'll make it really clear so I don't leave the audience confused. My mom is a drug addict and she has mental health issues. So sometimes she loses it a little bit and she wanders the streets in the middle of the night and we try to, it's very hard to deal with. It was hard to deal with as a kid, but my dad would rather leave the door open for him, or for her to be able to have somewhere to go so we can deal with her so somebody else doesn't take advantage of her.
Right.
So yeah, so Haskiri's dad locks all the doors, pop, 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 right? And then, we're talking. Meanwhile, while I'm talking to him, I'm kind of like I'm very nervous, but I'm so surprised. I did not expect the apartment to look so nice.
Yeah.
Her dad like renovated this old apartment in Washington Heights or whatever. I'm like, oh, this is dope. It smelled really good in there. It was very different. So we go to her room. So she's like, this is my room. So I was just standing there. I was like, oh, nice. And then, she's like, come in. I was like, because when I walked in, I just looked around. I didn't want to like sit on her bed or nothing. She's like, come in. And I was like, oh yeah, this is nice. And her dad was like, are you hungry? Are you this? And I was like, oh, nah, I'm good. I was starving. I was like, nah, I'm good. He's like, yo, look, let me tell you something, bro. When you come here, if you're hungry, just go in the cabinets, go in the refrigerator. Here, let me show you where everything's at.
Yeah.
So he showed me where everything was at. I was like, yo, these people are setting me up right now. Like it was very odd for me.
Yeah.
So then Haskiri and I, we was just chilling. We go back in the living room, we eat, and then we go in the bedroom, and then Ree closes the door. I'm like, yo, Haskiri closed the door. I'm like, babe, open that door. Like, I don't want your dad thinking anything. She's like, no, he's chilling. I'm like, yo, you should keep the door open, whatever. So she was like, fine. She left the door open. We were watching TV. Her dad came out of nowhere. He's like, yo, why you got the door open? You can close the door. Close the door. I'm like, yo, they definitely set me up right now. So,
because like my dad was very big on like just privacy and trust and things like that, and it just like he's like I don't know. I wonder if he like already knew like.
Well, there's a conversation. There's a conversation him and I had when you went to school one day.
Okay.
This is like in the next couple of stories. Write this down to make sure I don't forget that story. But after everything went down in college and I didn't go pro and that whole trauma happened or whatever, your dad and I had a conversation.
Ooh,
her dad is not a stupid dude. So if you listen to this and thinking that my dad should do this and my dad should, no, her dad is he's a street dude. He knew who I was.
There's different dynamics too. Like I just want to point out to like the listeners or viewers, like everyone has a different dynamic on how they grew up, what they've experienced, like the trust and things like that. So there's things that I went through that I experienced that in this situation, I kind of knew how to go about it. And my dad knew how to go about it. And you did. So there's like different things that happen in our lives that prepare us for the new experiences that we're going to, eventually come face to face with.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
No, when I walked in, I was very, also too, like, when I walked in, I was very polite, right? Yeah. Like I'm a street kid, but I didn't go in there like dressed like a hood dude and not because I was moving on from that. My goal was like, yo, I got to go to college. I have to be successful in life. He felt that, he saw that, but he did his research on me already. He's not stupid.
Yeah.
So while we're there, I'm like looking at the time, it started snowing a lot. It was really snowing out. And I only had a 2-wheel drive car. I had a Honda Accord 1996 2-door.
2-door, yeah.
And so I'm saying by the Haskiri or whatever, and I'm like, look, I have to go because there's a lot of snow falling on the ground. I have to get going. So I walk out or whatever, and her father goes, where you going? And I was like, I have to go with, the snow. I only have 2-wheel.
Like picking up.
He's like, why don't you just stay over?
Yeah.
I was like, what? He's like, why don't you? So when I came out the bedroom, bro's walking around in his boxers and his tank top.
Mad Puerto Rican.
Chancletas with no socks.
The thong sandals. Yeah.
And he's like standing up, eating, like watching, like he was eating, like I think ice cream, something. Yeah. Just standing there eating, watching the TV when I walked out. And he's like, why don't you just stay over?
Yeah.
And I was like, I would love to stay over because in my mind, I'm like, hold on. The heat is working in here. The heat in my dad's house, we had in my brother's room, we had to depend on the heat coming from the rest of the house hitting the back door. The back room.
You guys had the oven on. No,
we did. I know.
No, they had the oven on, and for a second I was like, "Why is the oven on?" And they would open the oven door to let the heat out, to heat up the house, and I was like, "Wow."
The oven, hot water on the pan, and put that on with the on the stove.
Yeah.
Try to get the heat. Yeah, but the oven was like the number one thing we did. So we had the little radiators that you can get from Walmart
like the portable heaters. Yeah.
So it was cold, like so. Her house was warm, and I was like, and it was clean, and the covers were clean, and it was so clean and organized. It was like out of this world. I was scared to even make a mistake, to spill anything. He said, "Why don't you stay over?" In my mind, I'm like, "Yo, if I stay over, that means I don't have to sleep with Darren tonight. That means I don't have to drive all the way back, and that doesn't mean that means I can save money coming back to see you, or us seeing each other tomorrow." So I was like, "Oh, I don't know." He's like, "Nah, man, you can stay over." I didn't want him feeling like I was pushing too much, He's like, "Nah, just stay over or whatever." So I was like, "Okay." So I ended up staying over, and Haskiri and I was watching like movies and TV, and it was a good time. Then I woke up the next morning, and she wasn't there when I woke up. You remember what you did that next morning?
Yeah, I went to the grocery store.
Yeah.
So the next morning, I was like, you know what? Let me show him what I could do, kind of. But also, like, I kind of felt like he didn't get to experience certain things. So I was like, I kind of want to show him that side. And so I woke up like maybe an hour before he did. I got dressed like really quietly. I left. I walked to the other corner, which was the grocery store, the supermarket we go to. And I got bacon, pancake mix, eggs. Like, I just got the things that we didn't have in the house. And when I came back, I had like, I'm telling you, those bags were heavy as hell. Like, at this time, I was not working out. So it was not like an easy trip for me. Now, it's a one trip, okay? I was struggling walking like that whole entire like little block. And I went upstairs, and then you woke up and I was already making breakfast. I was like, I want to make breakfast for you. So I made him pancakes, eggs, bacon. What else did I make? It was just like a few.
French toast, I think.
I think it was like a French toast, actually, versus pancakes. I don't know, but.
No, it was pancakes. You made everything.
I made a lot of things.
You made everything that you can get at IHOP.
Right, that's true.
So when I woke up, I kind of like smelled the food, and I was like, hold on, somebody throwing down in the kitchen right now. So immediately, I woke up or whatever, and she had this breakfast. She's like, I made this breakfast. Yo, it was when I'm thinking about it and I'm reflecting on how I was thinking, I was like, yo, this is wild to me. Yeah. Because why are you cooking for me? Like, of course I wanted it. Of course, I wanted it. I appreciated it, right? But you were like a fake, a fairy tale. You got me like, hold on, her father's let me stay over. Okay, cool. The most beautiful woman in the world is making me breakfast this morning. I slept on this bed. That bed was comfortable. Yeah. You feel me? I didn't smell sweaty, pillowcases and nothing. It was like clean. And then, we ate breakfast, and I was kind of lost for words. I was in love. I've been in love the first day I met you, but I was like, yo, this is wild to me. And then I felt bad when you was like, I went to the grocery store, I got all this. I'm like, damn, you should have woke me up. I would have carried the bags for you. Like, I feel bad. She's like, no, don't worry about it. And this is usually the hard days, because this is the day I have to go back down to Delaware. This is Sunday. And then we were sitting there, and then I'm timing out, like, okay, if I leave at this time, then I'll get to Delaware at 6. Okay, maybe I can get there at 8. I'll leave at 4.
Right.
Then so we hung out or whatever, and it's really sad when you got to leave each other when you're in a long distance relationship. But that's when I left, and then we had to figure a way for you to get down. Because I was like, do you drive or whatever? He's like, yeah, but I don't have a car right now. I don't have this. I was like, okay, so how about we try to find a way for you to come down there?
And it's crazy, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like everything was meant to happen, because in that like bus operation, when I went in there and you look at all the stops that they did, they only went to the Delaware State campus. Yeah. Like, they didn't go to any other campus. So it's like, what are the chances that this bus in New York City travels 3 hours away to a campus, a school campus, that Nate just happens to attend? Like, it was just like, what are the chances?
Yeah, if that bus didn't exist,
it would have been a lot harder.
It would have been a lot harder, bro. A lot harder.
Yeah.
So now you come down. So when there's a couple of things, and we want to make a podcast of every single lesson that we've learned about like a long distance relationship. Like, we're not going to sit here and be super professional. We're just going to keep it real. Like, yo, this is what we found that worked. But right now, what you can see is working is planning is going to be one of them, right? Yeah. Planning, like, when we're going to see each other. And
looking forward to something.
Looking forward to something. And then also coming together as a team, right? Because one of the things we knew early on is like, you have a dream, I have a dream. And it's very important for us to support each other's dream. And in order to do that, we got to make sure, like, and we're both vulnerable with each other. We have to make sure that when we make these plans around our dreams, we're being realistic as far as like what we need financially, right? And it's not like $1,000 and nothing like that. Some people that's listening may be in a long distance relationship where they need like a flight somewhere that's like $300-400.
Right.
Maybe that's once a month kind of thing. For us, it was like, even us, it had to be once a month at times because I was a full-time Division I athlete where, we would come down, Haskiri would come down, and we won't see each other all day until like for like 1 to 2 hours at night. She'll be in a bedroom just waiting. And I was like, you can't go this way if you leave the campus. Don't go this way. Here's some money if you want to order food or whatever. But she ends up coming down. And now when she was coming down, I planned this whole thing. I was like, okay, now I'm going to make Haskiri my girlfriend. Like, I'm going to ask her to be my official girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a party on Saturday that I'm going to take her to. So when I walk in with her, all the girls on campus know, like, this is my girlfriend. All my football teammates.
Nah, he set me up, bro.
No, but also all my football teammates know this is my girlfriend too, just in case they try to, they see you in the hallway or they see you at a game of mine. So Haskiri comes down or whatever. I introduce her. Now I'm excited because I'm like, now you're going to see campus. Yeah. I'm like, you ever been to campus? She's like, no, not really. I'm like,
I was excited about campus life because I never went to college. So it was like, ooh, I want to go and see.
Yeah. So I'm like, yo, now it's official. Like, you're going to come down here. You're going to see like the good things a little bit, right? So Haskiri comes down. I walk to go get her at the front of the campus. We walk I had my own apartment on campus. I had a roommate. So, which was my teammate. So we go into my apartment. She looks around, and I cleaned up my room as best as I can. One of the best ways I cleaned up my room is I used to take all the stuff I wasn't using and just throw it in the closet and just close the closet, right? So she looking at the room, she said, oh, this is nice. She went to the closet. I'm like, whoa, what you doing over the closet? She opens up the closet because I figured that you threw everything in here. I was like, oh, man, damn, this sucks. So I'm like, look, what we're going to do is we're going to go to this party later. I have a football meeting with, the football team and my coaches. As soon as I come back, then we're able to, we're going to get ready for this party with her. She's like, all right, cool. I came back. Haskiri was cleaning up the room, bro.
Yeah. I had to. If I knew I was going to stay there, I had to. I had to get to cleaning, okay? I had to disinfect everything. This is a guy's room. I was like, no.
But the crazy thing about it is that...
When I FaceTime my dad, too. My dad literally, like, ride or die for me, no lie. Like
100%.
I FaceTime him and I was like, okay, look at the room. He's like, okay, you want to clean this, you want to get that, you want to do this, and like he's just like the best, honestly.
Yeah, no, he is, no doubt about it. So when I came back to the room, I saw her clean the room. I felt a little embarrassed and I felt upset because not upset that she was cleaning the room, upset the fact that I just spent like 3 hours trying to clean it as best as I can, and it still wasn't good enough, right? So then I sat Haskiri down and I'm like, look, we're gonna go to this party later, whatever. So my teammates came over with their girlfriends. We're all talking, we're chilling or whatever. And then I was waiting for midnight to hit, February 1st.
Yeah.
I wanted our date to be February 1st. So it was midnight. And then I went in the room. I was like, come on, I'm going to take you to the room. I have something, to talk to you about. I took her in the room. I was like, I want you to be my official girlfriend. Like, is that okay? Now, remind you, we're young, bro. This is 10 years ago. This is 2015. I was like, I want you to be my girlfriend, whatever. And I said, of course, I was waiting. What took you so long?
I'm like, about time.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks, right? So then I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to go to this party real quick.
Yeah.
Because this party, I have to take you to this party. I have to show everybody, like, you're my girl. So when you go to the games or you're around campus, nobody gets it messed up. She's like, cool. So we went to the party, and the party's been jumping already. It's like 12:30 at night. The party's in one of the apartment buildings. So we walk in or whatever. And then as soon as we walk in, there was a girl that shouted like, oh, he got a girlfriend now?
Yeah.
Yo, as soon as we walked in the door, someone was like, oh, he got a girlfriend now?
They were like, I thought you were single, Nate. I thought you were single. And I was like, And like,
And I knew exactly who said that too.
yeah. And in my thing, I'm like, okay, don't get it twisted. I know I'm only like 5'2", 5'3" on a good day, but I'm also from the hood. Like, I know my fair share of fights. Like, I've been in my fair share of fights plenty of times. So I was like, who is
It was one of the
trying?
cheerleader
Yeah.
girls. I'm not going to say her name, but it was one of the cheerleader
Yeah.
girls. As soon as I knew she said it, it wasn't only me. When she said it, my teammates even knew like what she was trying to do.
Right.
So they like, yo, come over here. Like they push us to the
It
side.
wasn't new to me, but I was like, if she wants the sauce, she's gonna get the sauce.
But the thing about it is that girl, none of the girls in there I did anything with. But that girl, since I came in as a freshman, she was older than me. She's always been like pursuing me. I just wasn't interested. Yeah. And she used to always say, oh, you must have a girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. I'm just not interested in you. So then now when I walked in, she was like, oh, you got a girlfriend now. I was like, oh man, we already knew. I already expected that from her. So we go to the party, whatever. And then after that, you know, we spend the rest of the weekend together. And then we kind of planned out the rest of the time of how we were going to see each other. So Haskiri goes back to New York City and we started to plan out like over the next 2.5 years. Cause we started dating my junior year.
Yeah. I was, when I was looking down, I was actually pulling up the Love Across the Hudson. So I don't know if y'all can see. Let me try to put it up here. If it'll catch.
You gotta bring the phone back.
Right
there
here.
You go. Yeah.
So that's the big purple bus right there, as you can see. But this is our YouTube channel. Like, our first video was 9 years ago. Yeah. It's called Small Intro to Vlog.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So after we started dating a little bit, and then we're official boyfriend and girlfriend, what we might as well just get into like some of the lessons that we've learned, like as far as making that happen. But
well, one of the lessons that I want to point out that I think is important is that during our dating, because I was an actor and you were a Division I football player, there were times where we would have something planned and then it would fall through because either I had an audition, like I just couldn't go. I'm like, I can't miss this audition. And I wasn't going to miss the audition. Like, I was like, well, I love him and I do want to spend time with him. But at the end of the day, this is my career. This is what I want to do. It's my passion. And also my purpose I felt in life. So I was like, I need to do this. And I knew that if I booked the job, I could see him, like, we could do more things, even though like I would only get paid like $2,000, even less than that. But I'm like, if I booked
$2,000.
No, at the time,
right there, bro.
At the time,
yeah,
remember we got
rich.
Yeah, we was rich. I was like 2,000, and that's if I even got 2,000, because depending on how long you're on a set for and whatever, it gets all complicated. But there were times where we would have these things planned and set, and certain things will fall through. Like one of my most vivid memories, or like one that lives rent free in my mind, is when I went down to your school. It was like 2 weeks that we haven't seen each other, or probably
more than that. It was a month.
It was like a month, right? So I finally make it on the bus. I finally go down to his school. I kid you not, as soon as I step foot off of that bus, like I get off on the last step, I used to have the alerts on my phone, like when I got an email, and an email came up for an audition. I think it was for like Law and Order or something. Or Orange is the New Black.
Orange is the New Black.
It was Orange is the New Black.
Yes, it was.
I got an audition for that. And I was like, and it was for the next day. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I have to get on the next bus back. So I spent 3 hours on a bus ride just to be there for like 30 minutes because I had to catch the next bus. And that was like one of our first kind of disagreements almost.
Our first argument.
Like,
and it was my fault. It was my fault.
It was tough.
It was a month we didn't see each other.
Yeah.
She gets off the bus. I was so happy to see her. Now, if we didn't see each other for a month, I saved up money. I didn't go home that weekend. I didn't plan to go home that weekend. So I had a plan to take you to movies.
Yeah.
2 for $20 at Chili's. And then when you got off the bus, you came with this little suitcase, that little pink suitcase. And we're walking back to the room and we're talking and we're getting ready. Because, a month of football or going full speed, hitting and taking hits.
Yeah.
And then like the school, and then you kind of feel like you're locked up, like you're in jail sometimes. And, in the perspective of a way, like you don't see family, you don't see friends. You're alone most of the time in your room. And you're tired. So I was really looking forward to seeing you. And when she gets in the room or whatever, I remember like I was shaping myself up in the mirror and I came in, she was like, oh, I have an audition. I'm like, oh, okay. This is before we can do them online. I mean, over,
this is like,
or online.
Pre-COVID.
No, she had to go into New York City. So then I said to her, I'm like, you have an audition when? She was like, tomorrow. I said, tomorrow? You can't. You just got here. And then she was already looking at the schedule of the bus.
Yeah.
She said, well, there's a bus that's coming in 45 minutes. I'm like, hold on, you just walked in the door. And she was like, no, I have to go. I'm like, why don't you see if they can do it Monday? And she said, no, they can't. I have to go. And I was like, yo, you can't be serious right now. Like, we waited a month to see each other. Like, how are we supposed to make this happen? If you out here, like, leaving right now or whatever.
Yeah.
And, yo, I'm over here trying to say the best things to keep her to stay or whatever. And Shorty grabbed her suitcase and was walking out. And I was like, you know not to walk without me on campus. Like, don't walk without me on campus. Because we got some hood dudes on campus. And I'm walk with me so we can avoid, future issues or whatever.
Right.
She walks out.
Yeah.
She walks out. She's like, I gotta catch this bus. Yeah. And I was like, this is wild to me, bro. So I'm like, all right, I'm not walking to the bus stop then. And then I run over, like I let like 5 minutes go by. I run over to the hallway to look out the window. Shorty is already like halfway there.
Yeah.
She kept walking.
Nothing was gonna stop me. I was out.
So I was like, oh, yo, she's really about to leave right now. So I ran and then I walked you, whatever, and then you were kind of sad or whatever. And she's like, oh, this is my dream. I have to make this happen or whatever. I'm like, yo, my bad. I'm confused right now. Like, I guess I'm upset because I really was looking forward to seeing you. She's like, me too. I just got on this bus. Think about me. I got on a 3.5 hour bus ride down here, and I'm about to go back on for 3.5 hours for no reason. And then she ended up getting on the bus, and we talked it out. But that was a day where I was like, yo.
Yeah. I
fell in love with you more from that day.
But I think you asked me like, well, what if it doesn't work out?
That was another day.
Oh, okay.
That was another day.
We'll leave for another day.
No. We don't have to leave that. We don't have to leave that for another day. We can follow up right after this.
Yeah.
But these are the moments that when you're in a long distance relationship or you're in a relationship, there's going to be moments where you're the wrong one. But if you really look back and you take personal responsibility, you may learn like a life lesson or you may be inspired. That day I learned that the importance of courage with your dream. Like to make it as far as I made it in my career, you needed all those things, right? But you get lost in the sauce sometimes when you make it at a certain point and you're like you're doing it, but you have other dreams and you figure out like maybe you have like fear or whatever going after it. No, Haskiri that day taught me like you can be pursuing something and fail so many times and still have that courage as if you won. So when I was like, yo, that actually proves to me that she really is about like a dream chaser. That's what they called me growing up, the dream chaser, So I was like, okay, she gets on the bus, we work it out or whatever. So now we plan for me to go up there. I get a weekend off, I go up there. You had another audition come through. And I said, when? And you said, well, I have to do it tomorrow. And I'm like, damn, we were supposed to go on a date tomorrow. And then I'm driving, it was quiet. And we're going right over George Washington Bridge. And I said, what is your plan B? And she said, what? I said, what is your plan B? I know you have your auditions and stuff, but let's just say it doesn't work out. What is your plan B? And she said, I don't got no plan B.
Yeah.
This is my only plan. And I said, well, if it doesn't work, then I'm going to keep trying. I was like, you're going to need a plan B. She said, I don't need no plan B. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Because when you're a football player, you need a plan B.
Right.
Right. And I felt the same way. I don't need no plan B. And then come to find out as we go through our stories, come to find out my career ended, right? From an injury that was almost paralyzed, right? Lesson number one, we always had to plan these things, bro, for the first couple of months of us dating, right? We end up having to do this for 2 years. So if you're in a long distance relationship or if you're in a relationship itself, patience is like number one, but we both knew we had a dream or we had an idea that we were heading for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we had this inspiration from within us, like, yo, this may be the thing that we can do over here, over there. She had the acting, I had football, right? So when we were pursuing these things, we had to make sure that we planned correctly.
Yeah.
And it's unrealistic for me to be like, yo, come down today.
Yeah, right, exactly. There's going to be sacrifices that both parties are going to have to do, right? And when those sacrifices happen, it doesn't mean that it's easier for one than the other, but it truly does mean that you have to be there to support your partner, because if I went to an audition and Nate wasn't supportive of me, then I immediately would have known like this isn't the one for me, because I'm going to want a partner that's going to support me in my journey as an actor, that's going to understand that, oh, I have an audition. It does come last minute. There isn't much preparation or much time that I have to adjust to those things. So when he was like, at first he gave some pushback, but you also kind of want that, right? Because you just don't want nobody that's going to be like, okay, deuces. Like, I saw that he cared, and then I saw that he also understood the situation. And that's just kind of the dynamic that we had, that relationship early on. It's like, okay, you're a Division I football player. I came down to your school. I'm not going to see you for the next 5 hours because somebody on your team wanted to act up, and now your coach is calling you back on the field. Like, there were so many
moments. It went both ways.
Yeah, it went both ways. There
did go both ways.
Moments like that, though, too.
All the time.
And I had to understand that. I didn't like it. I would get upset, but I had to understand that that's what came with the game. And that's one of the things I feel like that's so important, that when you're in a relationship, regardless if it's long distance or not, there's certain things that individual has to do to get by, to elevate in their life, to continue being on that scholarship or continue being represented by their agent or whatever it is. Like, there's just things that they're going to have to do whether they want to or not, because they see the bigger picture, and you need to see the bigger picture with them. So
yeah, it does go both ways, because when Haskiri would come down, we may have a whole day planned out, and then I get this alert. My football team, my coach made this app. Like, they made this app. Like, if they need your attention, like, you get this alert, and everybody must report to the weight room today, right now, in the next 5 minutes, or we're being punished because the dude that never got PT, no playing time, missed class or did something that was disrespectful, and now we're all being punished, and it took away from our plans. So that's true as well. Me traveling for football, so there may be a weekend where we're flying to Florida to go play, and then we're flying to, all different parts of the country, and it's back to back. So usually during the season, Haskiri can come down during the home games. And then after we play at like 1 o'clock and we're done at 4, then we go to dinner, and then we have the rest of that Saturday and the rest of that Monday. And the good thing about Haskiri's job of being an actress, is that she was so flexible, where she may be able to leave Monday morning, so I get all Sunday too. So that was like really fun too.
Here's the thing, Nate sometimes would get more people to cut hair, like he will get more clientele, because I will tell him like, hey, I'm going to try to switch my shift over, have somebody else pick up my shift, but that means I'm going to have to pick up a shift later on in the week. Like, so that was also something that I would plan, because I'm like, instead of spending two days with you over the weekend, I can leave on a Monday night or a Tuesday, whatever. Like, it depends. I just have to switch my schedule up. I used to be texting people all the time like, hey, you want to switch schedules with me? Pick up my shift, I do yours. Like, it was these things, and sometimes it will mess up my flow, because let's say if I would switch the shift and then I get an audition, I will have to switch it again. So it was just like these things that, I mean, I was willing to do. It didn't really bother me, but it was just the work that was put in, the effort in the relationship.
Because Haskiri will go from, let's just say 200th Street all the way down like 14th Street, right?
Yeah, I will go all the way down to, because
there was times where you worked at 72nd or 69th or something?
When we first started our relationship, I worked at the Equinox Sports Club on 72nd and like 2nd Ave or 3rd Ave. It was on,
And then you got the one down in Greenwich.
And then and then
is it Greenwich?
Yeah, it was in Greenwich. Yeah, eventually I got that one.
Yeah, that one, I like that neighborhood. Yeah, so she got the one there. So she'll have to go from 200th Street all the way down to 14th Street. Then go all the way back uptown, sometimes change. And then if she wanted to come see me, she had to go to Midtown, which was like on
30. It was on 34th,
30-something, 34th, 33rd for that bus.
5th, 6th. It was like on 6th Ave or something.
Yeah.
I forgot, but yeah.
Yeah, so.
It was that bus. And that bus, oh my God. I mean, you watch the YouTube video, but it smelled like cigarettes and pee and.
Yo, people went on there was literally smoking cigarettes in the little bathroom they had in the back.
Yeah.
That's why. It was crazy.
Like, I knew not to drink or eat anything before I got on that bus, because there was no way I was going to use that bathroom.
So planning is going to be one of the tips. The next one is when it comes to planning the schedule, planning the money.
How much money,
right? And then planning what you're going to be doing when you see each other.
Right.
And I would say when it comes down to when we saw each other, we kept things so simple, bro.
Yeah. I feel like the simpler, the better. Like, I used to get off the bus, and one of the first things, if I was hungry, because again, I didn't eat or drink anything before getting on the bus, and he would take me across the street to like this, like, what do you call that? Like a lot or something.
Plaza,
Like a plaza, right? It was a plaza. and we would get Jersey Mike's. And because we were so broke, we would get the biggest Jersey Mike sandwich, and we would cut it in half so that he could have a piece and I could have a piece, because we had to share it.
$8.75.
Yeah. Eventually, we used to get points, and we used to love when we get the free ones.
Yo.
They're like, "Oh, you're due for a free sandwich," and I was like, "We're using that, yeah." But that was like our thing. It was so simple. It was sandwiches, Chinese food at night sometimes, like things that
half a chicken pork fried rice with an egg roll on the side with a iced tea, baby.
Yeah. But it was like, when you think back at these moments, like, sure, it's fun to do extravagant things, right? And go on those night stays and dress up for each other and those things. But when you're first starting a relationship, you may not have the funds to do so or the time to do so. And I realized that those were a lot of our fun moments. Like, we made the most of it, and it was so fun. And yeah, it doesn't put a lot of pressure on nobody.
Yeah, no pressure. But then we made the best of everything, because at the end of the day, it wasn't about so much of what we were going to do. It was the fact that we were together.
Right.
All these things come down to something I have here. I grabbed a piece of paper and a pen just to make sure we don't miss anything, because we had an end goal. So we'll talk about that. We'll conclude with the end goal. But we got the sacrifices not only with work, not only with our, careers and school and stuff, but sacrifices as well with like parties, right? I was invited to all the parties, or you were invited to parties and brunches and stuff in the city, or sacrifices of like, yo, I'm not going to buy these pair of sneakers, because if I buy these pair of sneakers, then I can't come home to see you, kind of thing, right? So like financial sacrifices, time sacrifices, but really sacrificing a lot of ego, right? Because we could have easily like gave in to one of those things and not be willing to sacrifice so much, but we had an end goal. Discipline is huge, right? Because Haskiri's not there if I don't see you for a month, I can easily just sneak around with girls on campus, right? Or you can easily sneak around in the city,
versa,
right?
Yeah.
But the thing is one thing that helped me, if you're a man listening, or if you're a woman that needs a man to hear this or whatever, I always visioned the end goal of like, yo, if we were to make a family together, like if I can make a drawing or an image of someone and write down all the things I'm looking for in a woman, to be the one for me, to be the one to be the mother of my children, to be my wife, is going to be this person. Right. If I sneak around and do something right now, then what's more likely going to happen is one day, if our dreams come true, I'll be sitting down chilling with you and my kids, and then I pop up on TMZ or something like that, because there's text messages or videos of me with a woman from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or before you even have kids. If our dreams start coming true, then, Haskiri may, if she becomes this actress she wants to become, and I become the person I want to become, out of nowhere, Haskiri got a bunch of DMs of girls showing her things that I was doing with them in college when I was with her.
Right.
I was like, no, you're not ruining that. So that discipline is very needed.
Yeah.
Making sure I took care of everything in school, making sure you took care of everything with your job. So then by the time, discipline, waking up and making that bus.
Right, exactly.
Right?
There was one time I missed it, and I was bawling my eyes out, because I was like, what am I going to do now? Like, this was already planned. I'm already here. And then I just had to wait it out and get on the next bus. But it took away almost 3 hours of us hanging out, right? So it's like, that discipline, and also communication. Like, you have to have a lot of communication, especially early on in the relationship, because it's like, you don't really know this person and you're trying to get to know this person. And if they're not communicating well, then your mind is going to be filled up with all these what ifs, or these false narratives, or, just it could be negative too, right? So you just want to have communication with them. Like, we communicate all the time. Like, hey, I'm at work, I can't talk right now, I'll call you on my lunch break. Or, hey, I'm about to go on the field, I have to watch film, I can't text right now. Like, you start understanding this person's schedule. You start understanding, okay, could he talk at work? No, he can't. This is what he has to do. Okay. Finding out ways how to communicate, when to communicate, like, just communication in general is very important. So,
well, I'm not a big texter.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So, because I couldn't really text because I was in class, and I'm like, well, I couldn't text in class because I was really driven. Like, the one way you can lose your scholarship as an athlete is like you get bad grades. Right. And I almost failed my freshman year, right? Because I was too cocky. I was too arrogant. And I'm like, man, I'm going to the league. I'm not. And then I saw like after I failed, I had to go to summer school. And I was like, yo, if I drop below a certain GPA, the team had the right to take my scholarship away. So I'm like, yo, I can't afford that. And I was like driven. So I was the type of person, of course, if we would text to plan on when we can call each other. So I'm a big communicator in person or on the phone or FaceTime, right? So knowing how your partner or the other person likes to communicate and communicating how you like to communicate, those are two big things right there. Now listen, there's probably going to be questions that come with this, or we're going to probably make way more. We're trying to give you a storyline with some lessons. This is not all just freaking lessons here, but we hope that you enjoyed this. Share this with somebody who needs to hear this. We made it to episode 2, and we have a lot of more episodes coming. You can leave a comment down below if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on our Substack, you can, or if you're on Apple, you can leave a comment down below on the begreatwithus.com, which is our Substack. You'll be able to leave that comment down below. And then on Spotify too, in the show notes. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all I wanted to say.
It's in the show notes. Yeah.
The show notes.
So we'll leave that in the show notes down below. And then also on Spotify, you should be able to just leave a comment down below on Spotify, which is pretty dope. So yeah, your comments, questions and stuff will formulate some, you'll see how we roll out the show. Right now, this is Be Great With Us. We want to give you some background, but you'll see we'll have like, topics we'll talk about. It will be a little more light as we continue to go through it. I forget that we was even recording a podcast halfway through because I'm like, damn, we really went through this and this and this. Damn.
There's so many things. Like, we're also going to like obviously touch on things that you experience for the first time as a couple. Like, we moved out on our own, the things we experienced then, getting a dog for the first time. Another thing just to keep in the back of your mind is that there's going to be growth. There's going to be moments of transition that you're just going to have to learn how to navigate. And that's why we're putting out these episodes, because maybe what we share on here may not necessarily work for you, but that doesn't mean that there is no other way to go about it. We had to find it, right? We struggled through it. We figured out what worked. We let go of everything else, and then we kept going with that. So don't let anybody get into your head or tell you that a long distance can't work. It can. It's just going to require work. And a lot of the times people aren't willing to put in the work. But if you are, then who knows? You could be 10 years into a relationship and engaged and, experience life together. So, yeah, there's
fire. All right. Well, we can keep going because I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this now, but she got to walk the dogs and we got to get the day started. So thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.